Quadrilateral attributes. All right, I would have the kids say the word attributes. Say it again. I always tell the kids, you know, Miss Pierce, she likes you to read it, write it, say it. If you can't remember it, you're never going to say it or write it. Attributes. If I asked you for the attributes of this pencil, I would be asking you, describe it. It's a solid, it's made of plastic, it's a cylinder shape, it has rubber at the end, lead. Attributes. Attributes are descriptions. More specifically, they'd be descriptors, but I think kids would get descriptions better. You could also say that attributes are characteristics. My handwriting's not the prettiest like this. You could even say they are the qualities. So after I wrote, and I always tell the kids, I know I write faster, but once I'm done, I'll hold it up here and then you can finish copying. And this is when I would get up. And I know I say that, but it's amazing how many of us forget those simple things. Get up, and as you talk to the kids, check to make sure they spelled correctly, that they wrote these. And so as I walk around, I would say things such as, okay, if I wanted the attributes, if I said to list Juan's attributes, I'd be saying describe Juan. So I could say, you know, he's a male or Hispanic, brown hair. He's in Miss Simon's class. If I asked you for the attributes of this water bottle, I'm asking you for the characteristics. It's plastic. It's cylinder shaped. So I use this a few times in context with things in the classroom and kids. And then again, these are synonyms. Bring that in, bring in the language. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about quadrilaterals and ways to describe them. Their attributes. If you hear kids use the attributes, man, ding them up for dojo. If they say qualities, characteristics, those are really great words. I would come back and go, remember quad. I want you to box the word quad. 1, 2, 3, 4 letters. Quads, remember, are, well, we're going to go down there in just a second. Sorry. Quad, 4. Like right here. Quads have 4. 4 what? Okay, 4 edges, and I'm pretending kids would be answering. What's an edge? Oh, a side, yeah. So like, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 4 edges. Let's write that. Some of us, we know it. Some of us probably don't remember it. Sides. Again, you could get up, repeat nearby. Edges are sides, all right? A quad has 4 edges, 4 vertices. What are the vertices? Corners, yeah, they're like corners. It's when 2 edges connect. Now remember, if you're talking about one singular, it's a vertex. If I said go stand in the vertex, I'd be saying stand in the corner where 2 straight edges connect. Vertices is plural. All right, quadrilaterals have 4 edges, 4 vertices, 4 angles. Very good. Make sure you're writing angles and not angels. G-L-E-S. All right. A quadrilateral is a 4-sided object. What do we call these types of shapes that are flat, straight-edged? Yes, polygons. So quadrilaterals are polygons with 4 edges, 4 vertices, 4 angles. Polygons, straight, closed, flat. So bring back that vocabulary. All right, this 2-dimensional figure is I can't even tell, quadrilateral. And it's okay if they just write quad. To me, quadrilateral, quad is one of those that definitely doesn't have to be written all the way out to make sense. This figure is a quad. It is a quadrilateral because it has 4 edges. Let's find those. Let's highlight. 1, doesn't matter what order. 2, as long as we're doing it together. 3, 4 edges. It has 4 vertices. 1, let's put points. 2, 3, 4. And if I asked y'all what type of angle this is, what would you say? Obtuse is right. More than 90 degrees. It's a big mouth like Miss Pierce's. What type of angle is this one? Yeah, he's a cute little angle. He's less than 90. What about this one? Yes, it's also acute. And remember, if kids struggle, tell them, well, what is a loser? What is a right angle? It looks like a loser, so make a backwards L. See the backwards loser? If it's less than the L, it's acute. So that's always a good trick. Quadrilateral. Now this guy, it's two-dimensional. Let's go back to that. If you're 2D, two-dimensional, what are the two dimensions that you can measure on plane figures? Length and width. And when all you have is length and width, like a piece of paper, it makes you flat. So remember, 2D means there are two dimensions you can measure, and it's going to be a flat object, a polygon. So this two-dimensional figure is a trapezoid, right? Trap, E-zoid, Z-O-I-D. Take a minute, get up, go make sure they wrote down everything, sides. Tell them, okay, so far we know that these are polygons, and I would, as you're walking around, quiz them like, why are they polygons? Yes, they're flat. What's a synonym for flat? 2D. What's another thing? Plane. How do you spell it? P-L-A-N-E. Why else are they polygons? They're flat. Yes, they use straight edges. They're closed. They don't crisscross. Good. Okay, so these are polygons. They're also quadrilaterals. Why are all of these quadrilaterals? Yes, they have four edges. Yes, four angles. Yes, four vertices. So as I walk around, I'm usually talking, then I'll come back. All right, so this is a polygon, flat, closed, straight edge. It's a quadrilateral, 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. It is a trapezoid because that's his name. Why is this a trapezoid? It is a trapezoid because it has a certain attribute. It has a certain description to it. A trapezoid has one set of parallel segments. Let's go back to this parallel. It's a cheater word. Parallel is like the pair of L's. It's two lines or segments that run side by side but never meet. Segments, that would be like my piece. Remember me being a fool? Like, you want a piece of me? From here, from my elbow or wrist to my shoulder is a piece. This is my segment. Or if you watch a segment of a show, it's a piece. Hope I didn't look too stupid there. Maybe. I call it, you'll hear people say parallel lines. I hate that because if we teach kids that lines have arrows, but when we extend these, we're not making them lines. They're segments. They have a beginning and end, but I digress. One set of parallel segments. So let's come here to the top, and I want y'all to extend it. Actually, let's extend it with our highlighters. Extend means stretch. Okay. Opposite of it, extend it, is another line. So I tell kids, like a set, like a pair, it's one set, one pair, but a pair of shoes has two shoes. So it takes two segments to make one set or one pair. These are parallel because no matter how far we extend them, they're never going to touch. Now this one, you'd think, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Let's extend with our pencil these other two. And this is what you're going to have to learn about shapes, is you cannot leave them as they are. A lot of times it's going to take you grabbing your pencils and extending. But look what happens if you stretch them out. What happens right there? They intersect. So this is only one set of parallel segments. Because it is a quadrilateral with one set, you're trapped in the one set trapezoid. You're trapped on this one-way highway, trapezoid. Why is that not a trapezoid? Well, I love pencil. Ah. Right here, if we extend these, they intersect, they meet. If you extend this top and this bottom, eventually what happens? They're going to intersect. So all I can call this is a quadrilateral because it has four edges, four vertices, and four angles. Can't call it a trapezoid because a trapezoid has a special attribute of being one set. Remember, you are trapped on this one-way highway, this one set of road, if that helps. All right, this is a two-dimensional figure. It is 2D because it has length and width. It is flat. It is called a parallelogram. So let's break that down. Para, P-A-R-A, lel, L-L-E-L, O-G-R-A-M. Miss Pierce loves saying this word. I like to say it like this, parallelogram. They think it's funny and it helps them get those extra L's. A parallelogram. Why is this a parallelogram? Well, it's a parallelogram because parallelograms have a special attribute. They have a special characteristic, a special description. They contain two sets of parallel segments. Remember, parallel is its own kind of copycat or cheater or narc or whatever. Parallel are two segments, two lines side by side. Now, the trapezoid had one set that you got trapped in on this highway. Parallelograms have two sets. So let's extend at the top and bottom segments with our highlighters. Extend meaning stretch, because sometimes when we stretch, we find out that the segments intersect. These are segments because they have beginnings and ends. No matter how far I draw these, they're always side by side. Now let's take our pencil and extend the other two. And it doesn't matter how far I extend these, they would continue on a path side by side. So we have two sets. If you have two parallel sets, you are a parallelogram. A parallelogram. I always told the kids like this: parallel, parallel, parallelogram. Trapped on a one-way highway. Trapezoid. No sets? Well, all I can call you is a quad. You are very irregular, man. You have no other name. So, before we move on, and this is where I say teachers fly through notes, but this is where discussions really come in. These are all shapes. You could say, so if I said list these attributes, you could say they're all shapes. You could say, what else about them? What else could I call them? They're shapes. Ooh, they're quadrilaterals. How do you know that? Well, yeah, it says quad, and oh, yeah, because they all have four edges, four vertices, four angles. Okay, so they're shapes. They're quads. What else are they? If the kids are struggling, say, what do you call these guys that are flat, straight? Oh, they're polygons. Yeah, polygon. Okay, so they could hang out with shapes, or they could hang out with the polygons, or they could hang out with quadrilaterals. This is like kids. Y'all are all kids. Y'all are Grape Creek students. Then you can be broken into the 4th grade group. And then you're in Miss Simon's math class. Your name is Henry. Or you could break it even more. Grape Creek student, 4th grader, Miss James class, a boy, cord. Shapes belong to many categories, just like people do. And you know which categories they belong to because they're attributes. So, parallel, parallel, parallelogram. Trapped on a one-way highway, trapezoid. No parallel segments, you're just a quad and you're weird. All right, continuing on. Is this a parallelogram? Are these parallelogram? Just knock them out in one. Why are they parallelograms? Parallelograms. Are they polygons? All right, tell me one reason, Phoenix, that they're a polygon. Good, ding, dojo. All right, give me another reason they're a polygon, Tony. Great, ding, dojo for you. Landry, give me a third reason they're polygons. Correct, ding, moving on. Or you could say, hey, Avery, why are they quadrilaterals? Oh, yeah, they're polygons with 4 edges or 4 vertices. Great, moving on. So it is a 2D figure. This one is everyone knows this one, rectangle. Rec, R-E-C, tang, T-A-N-G-L-E, rectangle. Now, when it says this quadrilateral's attributes are, what does that mean, y'all, that we're listing the rectangle's attributes? What are attributes? If I said, and if they're stuck, give it to them in a situation. Like if I said, list the attributes of the rectangle, what am I asking? Ways to describe. All right, let's write that again because your hand's not going to fall off. You don't have leprosy. So write it again. Attributes are ways to describe. Or even better, they're characteristics. And I want y'all to write this again. The more we read it, the more we write it, the more we say it, more likely we are to like retain it long term. I think it takes like 50 times or like 30 days of using something consistently to put it in long term. That's why, you always hear teachers say, oh, I taught them that. Yeah, you did. You might have even talked about it for a week or two, but not bringing it back, not writing it anytime you can connect. That's why they lose it year to year. It's getting it into long term. Anyway, ways to describe characteristics. How many sets of parallel segments do they have? Well, how are we going to tell if they're parallel? Okay, they run side by side. How can I show my work though? Oh, extend. All right, let's extend. Doesn't matter which two you want to extend. I'm going to do the sides, side edges. Are these parallel? How do y'all know? Yep, they run side by side. All right, let's extend with our highlighter the other two. And extend them out. Okay, so if they run side by side, are they parallel? All right, so if you're parallel, what can we call this guy? Or how many sets? 1, 2. One pair of shoes, that's one set. Another pair of shoes, another set. So this has 2 sets. And if you look back at your notes, if you have 2 sets of parallel segments, you're a parallelogram. So I'm a polygon, straight, flat, closed. I'm a quad, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a rectangle because I have these descriptors. And I'm also a parallelogram because I'm parallel, which makes you also a y'all write this, L-L-E-L-O-gram. It is a parallelogram because it has the 2 sets. I don't like the equal sign. So rectangles are parallelograms. Rectangles are polygons. They're quads. How many right angles? Let's go right here. What's a right angle look like? A loser. Yeah, you could call your brother a right angle. They think you're weird, but we know we're getting away with calling him a loser. And this is a upside down, 90 degrees. So that's 3. I want y'all to do this. And then once you get done, I'd get up and go make sure they've actually not just done the L part, but the extensions, the side, because the more notes you write, someone's off. Everyone should be writing, even if you have an accommodated kid, they should be attempting to write. If they get a copy of the notes, they should still be writing as much as they can. If they're trying, then I give them another copy. So 4 right angles. Well, that makes sense. Quads have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices, 4 edges, 4 angles. But 4 right angles is important. All right, this guy. This guy is a rhombus. R-H-O-M-B-U-S. A rhombus. Kids always like to say it's a leaning square. True. This quadrilateral's attributes. Oh, Miss Pierce screwed up. Poop on a stick. All right, how many sets of parallel segments? Let's extend the edges, the side ones, the left and right, to determine, would y'all say that those are parallel? I agree. All right, let's extend the top and bottom edges. Would you say these are parallel? How do we know they're parallel? Side by side. What else do we know about parallel? Never touch. So we're parallel once, we're parallel twice. 2 sets of parallel segments. So if you're parallel, parallelogram. So parallelogram. When you have parallelogram. Polygon, flat, closed, straight edged. Quad, 4. Now I had something here. The thing that it needs to say is that it has 4 congruent edges. And after you write it, get up and go make sure they're getting this down correctly, since we screwed up, especially I. Congruent edges. Walk around, make sure, tell them as you're walking around, congruent. Congruent means they're the same size, same shape. And a lot of times I'd go back. This is geometry. I always tell the kids, if you haven't told them that yet, geometry is the study of shapes. Sorry, my leg went to sleep. You'll see this in geometry a lot. These little hash marks like this, I want y'all to put them on your rhombus. Go ahead and put them down here. And on the rectangle. I want you to put one on the top and one on the bottom.